Hello, it's Stephanie with Coffee Paper Scissors. Okay, you guys, I've started on another project. I don't know if you were watching me before, if you remember when I made this. It's been a while, like maybe a year ago, I think. And I wouldn't know if I'd call it an unfinished project because this is all I made. I didn't start any journal pages to go with it, but it's kind of an unfinished project because I just left it sitting there after I made it. I will try and find the video of when I made it and attach it in my description box if you're interested in watching that. I might have added a couple things here and there after I finished the video, but maybe not. I mean, I'm trying to remember for sure. I'm just not sure. I decided though to work on a journal to go with this. So I have, let me see, I'm grabbing the paper pack that I'm using. It's a Paper Studio, and I do not know if Hobby Lobby still has this one, but you can look up and see. It's real pretty if you like pink and green. So what I did was I took and I backed them. I cut them out 8.5 by 11 from the 12 by 12 sheet. And then I backed it with some backing from different digital kits that I've purchased in the past. I just chose some of the background pages from some of those digital kits, so a mix of different digital kits. And I copied it onto the back side. This one actually, though, isn't. It's just a photocopy. I used my husband's photocopier and photocopied like doily type stuff onto the back of them. And so they're all a little different. This is one of my coffee dyed pages that I just photocopied it onto the back. And then my printer doesn't do borderless printing. So then I inked around all of them rather than cut them down again. And I used, I think, gathered twigs for the inking on these. What I'm going to be doing in this, okay, so like I said, I'm using 12 by 12 paper, and I cut down and I have all of these 4 by 12 pieces that I cut off to get my pages. And so I'm trying to think of different ways to use some of them up rather than poking them back into my paper pack, which I often do. So in this video, we're going to try and use as many of these as we can rather than just, you know, sticking them back in there and having lots of scraps. So the first thing we're going to do is very simple. I'm going to do one in each signature, but I'm not going to, I'll just show you the one time what I'm doing. So these are just going to be like a little tag page is all it will be. One thing I did not do was grab my inks and stuff like that. Before I started my video, I thought, am I ready? Do I even know what I'm doing? I kind of didn't. But I don't know. It's been a few days since I've made a video. So you kind of forget what you're doing in those days. And you've taken a little break. I've been in my craft room, but I haven't been doing any videoing. I've been, I don't know, more cleaning up and rearranging and stuff like that. So see what I want. I think I'm going to do ground espresso. I think that's the one I want. Get that out of the way. I also have, you know, when you take a 12 by 12 and you cut, you know, that 4-inch strip off, and then you do, you know, 8.5 by 11. So then you have a 1-inch strip. So I have a whole bunch of 1-inch strips that I need to figure out maybe something to do with as well. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they will just hit the garbage, but I'd rather try and use them. So we're just going to do like a tag page. Very simple. And I think I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac for this. that has been sitting for a while, and when that happens, it thickens up. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. So it takes a second for it to get back into the tip. This is from my painting that one label. If you watched my making your label video, the scrap using up scraps labels video, that one that I don't like. Yeah, this is pretty thick. Good thing I'm only going to show you how to do it once. It's very simple, and you guys probably have done it before, but it's just kind of one of those reminder videos, you know. It's like, oh yeah, you always forget if you don't do it all the time. So we are just going to put it into, I thought about fully covering it, but I wanted them to, you know, like taking and gluing it all the way from here to here. But I wanted my fold in the center to remain, you know, easy and not be something that would stick out stiff when you open up your signature. Just finding my, just kind of smoothing it out. I don't want to squish it out the sides too much, just smoothing it out. And then I'll cut it off. And do the other side. Of course, I'm going to have another scrap over here, but you want to make sure that you have it right side up as well. This has writing on it and flowers and everything. You can kind of tell which way they're going. So you just want to make sure you've got it going the right way. It's Sunday today, and I don't normally get much time in my craft room on a Sunday with all the church stuff. I go to church in the morning, and then I have a small group at my house on Sunday evening. But we had quite a bit of snow, and it's supposed to snow more, so we decided to cancel so that people aren't out on the roads. The last thing, it wouldn't just make you feel horrible if somebody was, you know, they come to your house and then they get in a wreck on the way home. I would feel pretty bad. So we were just like, nope, we're not going to have it. Not tonight. So I get to spend a little bit of time in my craft room. Okay, so then we're just going to take, and I think I'll do both of these at the same time. And then turn it around. There we go. Hole punch. And I have some inked up reinforcers already. I'm pretty sure I do. And I don't trust them, so I always put just a little bit more glue, and I haven't used this in a while either. I always have a needle handy, and of course I'm not going to find it. There it is. It seems there's quite the clog in it this time. Ow, I scratched myself, you guys. Ouch. Again, all of those things that you think, yeah, this is going to be great. Mine never clogs up that badly. I really haven't used it in a little while. Okay, got it. So I just do a little bit around. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, not much. We also had potluck after services. So I had to get up this morning and cook. It's really the last thing you want to do when you get up out of bed. The first thing in the morning is to cook anything, really. I'm at the point in my life where I don't really like cooking anymore. And then you're going to ask me to cook at 6 o'clock in the morning. I got up at 5:45 and started making enchiladas immediately. But, you know, that's okay. It's once a month. It's not too bad. Okay. My lid. Now, you can put something coming out if you want. If you do, it'll be poking out of your book, which of course I like. I don't know yet if that is what I'm going to do. But, so there you go. You just have like a little flap. It would be really cute actually to do 2 of them. So you would, you know, flip. And then I just chose, on this side, it's more of a decorative side. And then on this side is more a writing side. And that I did the same thing on each one of these. So this is more decorative. I'm going to back it with this one. So it's more writing. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of the next 3 of them on my own. And then we'll try to come up with other ways to use the rest of them. All right, I finished making one for each of my signatures. So this is the one we did together. And of course, the other side. And then there's one here. And the other side. Now, probably what I'll do is have one down, one up, one down. And then one up. And like I said, you could also do 2 in 1 if you wanted, or even 3. Okay, Stephanie, don't make a mess and lose your place. So what I mean by that is, of course, you want them to look good next to each other, and I don't think those 2 look good next to each other, but you could have them so that they are overlapping each other on a page. You could do several, and they could be of different lengths, and so, you know, they'd all flip. Something to consider. Okay, so then the next thing I want to do is the kind of the matchbook thing, but I want it to be a pocket. And I've made these before, and I'm sure you guys have either made them before or seen them before. I do need to know how long I need it. So I'm going to have to make 2 folds here, but I need it to fit on my page. I'm just thinking, I think that's good. So there's a little bit of space on either side. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but you want enough to where it goes under. It's going to hold it closed. Okay, so now that I have my folds, I need to cover the inside. You know, you don't have to. It's kind of flimsy paper. I like things a little bit more sturdy, but you don't have to. I'm going to use some coffee dyed paper to thicken it up, so that, you know, for one thing, the pocket is heavier duty. You know when you do coffee dyeing and it dries and it's wavy on the edge? I'm going to cut that off because that's kind of hard to glue down. So I'm just going to do that on both sides. And then the top. It's still going to be kind of curly, but it won't be as bad. And then I need to kind of guess my width, just kind of mark it. I don't know if you can see where I am. Am I in camera? Barely. Barely. Every time I get up out of my chair moves back a little ways, and then I'm always afraid I'm gonna try to sit down and end up on the floor. I did almost do that one time when I was making a video. Almost straight onto the floor. Well, okay, now I just need to... If you're having a hard time seeing your folds, which I am definitely doing, this is going to be either covered or inked anyway, so I'm marking it. That helps a lot. So we'll just do there. And do I want to make my second cut? I'll do this first. And then, of course, we end up with a scrap. More scraps. So let's go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to use the art glitter glue so it'll dry a little bit faster for me. Get the the glue coming out again. I actually kind of like this back side better. Oh well, too late now. And then just line it up as best as you can. So yeah, we got, I don't know if I said this already, we got probably 4 inches of snow, I'm guessing. Not too bad. It was kind of icky driving in it on the way to church this morning, but on the way home, the main roads were just wet. My husband, though, he kind of drives with no fear, and it scares me. And then, of course, I'm sure I make him mad because I go, oh, wait, what, this or that? And he gets annoyed with me, but he handles it very well. He handles it very well. Of course, whenever he says anything to me when I'm driving, I get mad at him. I'll tell him, who's driving? I'm so glad he doesn't say that to me because it would hurt my feelings. Okay, and then this is just a scrap. And I'm going to cover this side, even though it's going to be glued down, but I need it to be sturdy. scrap. They're good for something, right? I know a lot of people don't use their scrapbook paper as journal pages anymore. There's, you know, it's digital. You know, off of Etsy and stuff seem to be more popular, but we all have scrapbook paper, right? And I do the same thing. I've got it, and then how often do I make a journal from just scrapbook paper? Not very often. I usually use some, but I'm not real good at doing just scrapbook paper. Now, right now, this bends pretty easily because it's still kind of wet. The glue is still kind of wet. It's gonna thicken up and be a little bit harder to deal with, actually. So I wanna make sure that I leave quite a bit of room for my flap for the paper to go in and out of. And hopefully I don't know, I almost kind of feel like I should shorten it. I'm going to, even though I like the design, I have a feeling it's going to be kind of a headache, so I'm just going to shorten it. I don't have to ink this back part because that is going to be the back part of the pocket. Of course, you don't have to ink any of it if you don't want to. That's going to be covered. I'm thinking, though, I would like my edges, my corners rounded. So I'm getting my little rounder real quick. Okay, so I just need to glue this down. And you could do it in a couple of ways. You know, you could do staples. You could do glue like I'm doing. It would be cute to do like a hole punch and then do a ribbon through it so that there'd be like a little bow right here. I think that'd be really cute. It would add a lot of bulk in the edge, in the corner of the signature though. This is, I think it needs to dry flat, but I'm just going to show you. And then of course I tried to coordinate it. So I've got blue lines here on my page. So there's blue here. And then I had this pre-made little thing that can go down in there. So now there's blue and blue and blue. And then this opens and you can journal here and it'll tuck back down. So I'll just glue it down on there. So I think that's really cute. So I'm going to make one for each of these 3 signatures. And then I'll show you how those turn out. Maybe I'll do one with a bow. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay. I'm going to put this underneath my mat so that it'll dry. All right, I'm going to make the other 3. It's the next day. I had to go out and help my husband do some shoveling of the snow, which was more like 6 inches or so. So that took a minute. And then it was dinner time and I decided to stop for the day. I think this is what I was showing you guys. I had made these pockets that you can, you know, flip out and write on here and then tuck them under. Now, if you wanted, you could take these and leave them so that, you know, I put some glue right here to keep it down so that you could tuck it, but you don't have to do that. You could just fold it over and leave them loose and still decorate the top where the whole thing opens up and you can write on the whole thing. But I did it so that it is held closed. I added some trim and a little brad there. And then these are some pre-made things that I had. So I poked that in there. So that is that signature. This one turned out like this. This is a little pre-made thing I had. So it opens this way. I added this just to decorate it up a bit. And this one is here. I had a label and a butterfly. Again, the same trim. Trying not to overthink it. Of course, I got to this point and I have, you know, in my mind what to do with the rest of my cutoffs, but I don't know, all of a sudden I start overthinking it and I don't know what to decorate them with. And so I've been on Etsy looking. So look, I used one of the little labels that I made using my stamps a couple videos ago, if you want to check that out. So I actually used one of them. This one opens this way. And it just tucks under, and then a pre-made tag that I had. Okay, so the next two ideas to use up your 4x8 cutoff scraps, I'm going to do two different things, and I put the papers together in a way that I thought they go pretty well. And I actually ran out, and so in my paper pack, I had used this paper pack once before, and these were some scraps that I had, so I added this to our list of options. So two ideas. One, I'm going to do pocket, and then the other I'm going to do belly band. So let's see where I might want it. First of all, we could do maybe in the center. That would be good. We'll do the center on each if that works. We'll see. And I like this, the colors. I like those colors together. So we're gonna go pocket, belly band, pocket, belly band for the different signatures. So let's look in the center of this one. I don't know what I've got going on here. So belly band on this one. And I think that's pretty good. Hopefully this works out. So pocket. I think those colors work okay. And I'm gonna ink them also. Okay, let's hope this works. Where's the center? There it is. And then we'll do belly band. Okay. Get these back out of the way. So we need to cut them down first. And I can do that at the same time, I suppose, if I'm being honest. I usually don't measure, I mark with my pencil. I want to do them together though, just to make things a little quicker. course, now I've got more scraps. But I might have an idea to do with those. Move that out of the way. And then I'm also going to use my, if I can find it, there it is, my scoreboard. I find that it's very hard to, I cut the wrong end. You guys, I really wanted the other end of that piece of paper. And I totally thought of that, you know, as I was talking to you, and then didn't do it. I find it hard to fold over, you know, like the 1/2 inch on my own. It gets very crooked. So I'm going to do it like that. And then this, I think I want it that direction. And this fold that I'm going to do, it's really just because of, just to make it more sturdy. And I'm probably going to have to cut a little bit more of this off, or I could just fold it over farther, so that I'm just going to fold it over farther. That's what I'm going to do. And it's okay that I made a score there. It's not a big deal. So that's just making it so that I don't have to fuss with it. It's just folded over now. It's good. Otherwise, I never get them straight. I'm sure you guys know all about that. Get that up in there. Of course, you don't need a scoreboard, but if you have one, it does help. And then I'm going to glue that edge down. A little bit more glue on this one just because it's a bigger flap. I had to make sure that I was actually recording. I came into my craft room this morning. It's way past morning now, but anyway, and discovered that I left my lid off of my ink. Usually when I walk away from everything, I turn around and make sure everything's unplugged and covered and lids on. But last night I did not do a very good job of it. So hopefully it's still okay. So I think what I'll do is I'll put these together with you. You don't really have to ink the whole thing because it's going to be covered up, but just in case when I lay it down, a little bit of the edge shows, then, you know, it's plenty inked up, so that'll be good. Yeah, so I think I'll show you, you know, the ideas, and then I'll decorate them on my own because I really do not know what I am going to decorate them with. I have no idea. So let's glue this down. Whoopsie, that's the edge that okay. Make sure, of course, once you glue it down that you're gluing down the right side as I'm talking to you all about it. I'm gonna make sure that's really good and dry. Okay. Try again, Stephanie. That's my folded over edge for stability so that when I put something in the pocket, it doesn't tear the paper. So that's not the side I wanted to glue. Make sure I have the right side. Okay. Yeah, so I've been on Etsy looking for different butterflies. I have some butterflies that I've purchased in the past. I'm wanting to use something else. They're just not quite the right colors. And then I thought, well, maybe something else. I've been wasting a whole lot of time on Etsy, so I decided I was going to shut it off and just do this and figure out what I'm going to do to decorate them later. This is where I get to overthinking things, and it makes me kind of just stop, and I don't want to stop. I came in just a little bit from the edge. I don't know, I just kind of like the way that looks a little bit. Okay, so again, using your scraps. So then this one is going to be a belly band. Again, I need to trim it down. I like this, so I'm going to keep that end this time. I'm actually going to think about it and keep the correct end. And the back one doesn't matter too much because it's going to be a double belly band. So you won't see much of the bottom one. Okay, scraps. Okay, so again, I'm going to use my bone folder. And I'm going to do 1/2 inch on either side. Ish. Still, this one's still is going to give me a hard time. Okay. Let's see. So this ends up being 2.5 inches. My other one is 4 inches. So what I want it to be is, I think, 1.5 inches. I'm just going to fold it in half. I'm not going to try and mess with measuring. If I have some scrap because I've cut it, that's okay. That is okay. I can throw some scraps away, right? Actually, that's not bad. I was thinking it should be, oh, I like that. I was going to make it thinner, but no, I like that. There's just a little bit of white overlap, so I'm going to do it on this. Okay. I left my lid off there. It's going to clog up. All right, get this out of the way. And we'll glue the sides down again. And then this one, just fold it directly in half, glue it together. Sometimes I'm shocked at how noisy it is, like if I rub my bone folder on something or paper towel across something to get glue off. It sounds really loud when I'm playing portions of things back to see how it turned out. So I'm sorry if that was really loud. That's the correct side, I believe. It's made it look pretty crinkly. It would be probably a good idea to put it under something heavy and let it dry so that it's good and flat. And maybe I'll do that. I'll show it to you on the page. But wait to glue it down until I go to, move on and decorate the other two. I think that's really cute. I don't do a double belly band very often, so I was actually watching Creating with Jovi the other day, and she was working on a cookbook using her own digitals. If you're interested, I'll link it. But anyway, she was showing what she had done, and there was a double belly band, and I thought that's a perfect way to use up some of these long scraps. So thank you, Jovi. I think that's really pretty. So I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to do the other two by myself. Same thing, the double pocket and then the double belly band, and figure out how I'm going to decorate them, and I'll show you what I come up with. Okay, they're all finished off. My phone sounds a little different. I don't know if I messed with the volume or not, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So this is the first one. I just made a little cluster there to go on it. So that's the double pocket. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put in them. I don't know, but 1, 2, and then here is the belly band with the double belly band, and then I just put this little thing on it. Thought that was cute, simple. And then this one has this cluster, so that's double pocket. And the last one is this one. Now, during this video, I was saying a 4 by 12 offcut. It's not 4 by 12, it's 3.5 by 12 because, right? 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5, 12. Yeah. When you cut it to a 8.5 by 11, that leaves a 3.5 by 12 strip if you cut that strip first. So that's what I was using, not a 4 by 12. So 4 ways to use up those strips. They've all been done before. I'm not saying that's anything new, but it's just kind of a reminder to use them, because a lot of times I don't. I just stick them right back in my paper pack, and then I've got scraps. So this way I used them. I have a few still, those pieces, and then I have the 1-inch strips. I don't know that I'll use them in this journal. I might use them for something. We'll see what happens. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.